Okay, let me check. Most probably we are already live. Okay, we are live now. So, hi everyone, welcome to the fifth and most probably the last OA stream for this year on my channel. Today we have another group of students who would be attempting the test of DE Shaw, as you might have already read on the name of the stream. So let's go and do a quick round of introduction for everyone before we start with the test, right? So Naman, you can start with a quick intro.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Naman Agarwal. I'm a third year undergrad. I'll start my third year in August at BITS Goa. I'm pursuing computer science and I am currently preparing for my internships. OAs.
Okay. Vibhor?
So hello guys, my name is Vipur and I am from IT Kharagpur, and I'm a third year undergrad, currently pursuing electronics. And yes, I'm also having my internships now.
Samagra, you can go next.
I'm Samagra Pathak and I am from the final year of IIT DAVV Indore.
Got it. So,
Hello, I am Shubham. I am currently in fifth year, uh, currently pursuing mechanical engineering from IIT Kharagpur.
great. So good to have you all. Let's then start with the test. I think I've already instructed you with the test, so you can go. So now what you can do is you can go to the test page and then mute the tab, and so that you don't hear me while I am explaining the solutions to the audience. And you can start with the test. Best of luck to all of you, and you can mute this tab too now. Okay. Okay, so we see Shubham has, no, Naman has already started the test. Okay, Vibhor is starting with his test. Samagra is starting with his test too. Shubham is starting with his test too. It's pretty good. I just want to confirm once that all of their tests has already started. Okay. I think there are a fair bit of 3 questions. It's a 1.5 hour test, but we'll I think cover everything in almost an hour. Let's see if these guys are all set, and then we'll discuss what all things, because I think I'd made few posts and a lot of you asked me on my LinkedIn post key, hey, what should we do on OA preparation and all, what is relevant, what is not, and we'll talk about that today.
Hello, Umang sir. Uh, I'm clicking on the start, but it is not starting.
Okay, I think Shwag is facing a little issue, but that's fine. Chalo. So I think all are set. Let's then start discussing these things on our end too. Okay. First of all, how is things going for all of you who are watching this stream? Are you guys having tests and all? Are you giving these tests on your own campus this time? I think it's a high season in the sense that you have a lot of internship and placement tests going on in a lot of campuses. So how are things going for you all? भाई वो मजाक कर रहे हैं ऊबर में मजाक कर रहे हैं टेस्ट में सेकंड क्वेश्चन 2600 रेटेड थर्ड वाला ज्यादा और ज्यादा क्या होगा 300 पॉइंट का था वो ओके ठीक है, सब कोई अब टेस्ट मोड में आ गए हैं. ओके, तो फिर चलो फिर हम लोग भी स्टार्ट करें. शैल वी स्टार्ट डिस्कसिंग द सोल्यूशन आइडियाज एंड स्टफ. तब तक which all companies test have you all given as of now? Just throw me the name once. Somebody is saying कि ऊबर का टफ आता है, आज बार सबका पता नहीं टफ आ रहा है अचानक से. ठीक है, there are a lot of tests that are happening which get good questions in the sense that obviously not easy and has some trick that might not be so simple. So in that way it's pretty important to kind of start practicing these kind of questions, and we'll do a lot of these questions today. Like I say, I think this is comparatively a easier test than what we had taken in one of the few OAs that we have done. It's a medium level test. I'd not say it's very easy because they have good questions, but then this is a comparatively good test. Google, Cisco, Google, GPMC, D Shaw, good. Google though, yeah, D Shaw had test, right? Yeah, correct. Cisco makes sense. Okay, let's then quickly start talking about what do we have on the channel. चलो फिर हम लोग भी क्वेश्चन डिस्कस करना स्टार्ट करें. मैथ्स मॉड्यूल की जगह यहाँ क्यों मैं ये तुम्हें जाना पड़ेगा. What are you doing here instead of doing maths questions? But नहीं, ये भी अच्छे क्वेश्चंस है, बट थोड़े टॉपिक दूसरे हैं आज के जो क्वेश्चंस है उनके. So let me share my screen and let's start discussing some of the questions, right? Okay, so this is the first question. I don't know if you're able to read this or not, but okay. So read the problem, think about the problem. Have sprinkler on Wednesday. Okay, got it. Which campus sprinkler on Wednesday? So I've been taking like a lot of discussions here and there randomly कि कौन सा चल रहा है, मतलब कौन से कैंपस में क्या चल रहा है, what all questions are coming and stuff, right? So I was just thinking of just thinking of taking some discussions here and there. So sprinkler का किस कैंपस में है? Westminster में. Okay. Okay, got it. Sprinkler तो यार ठीक पूछती है. I mean, I would not say it's too easy, but not that hard also. But again, people ask me, hey Vivek, why are the tests so difficult, or what should I kind of prepare for it, or what needs to be done to get good at that? The thing is, the range is so diverse that it's super difficult to kind of predict कि कौन सी कंपनी क्या पूछेगी, right? I think I have told about this multiple times on my channel, but वही है कि every company just gets a bank of questions, like 1000 questions. उसमें से they can choose 1 or 2 questions so that there is like a good amount of difficulty to them, so that in campuses when they go and give this test they can filter out approximately 50 students for interviewing, or maybe even less than that. So that is the level that they want to set tests at कि like अगर 200 लोग हैं तो उसमें से 50 लोग shortlist हो जाए, right? Like 50 लोग एक threshold के ऊपर हो या कुछ partial point उठाए and so on. So that's the basic agenda for most companies, because taking interviews is costly, right? Like you have to spend engineers hours in taking interview. So that's why, right? Okay. Greedy, simple, DP. Okay. I can see a lot of solutions coming in. Given an array of size n, find the number of subsets with sum divisible by 7. Fairly straightforward, I suppose. Hers is saying pick not pick DP, correct. How do you maintain sum divisible by 7? Greedy, I think you cannot do greedy in this problem, even though constraints suggest greedy, but like when you have to count, right? So there is a very simple trick that you can keep in mind. Okay, remember this. If you have a counting problem, most probably it's a DP. When you have an optimization problem and you're not able to solve it with DP, it's most probably a greedy. Okay, that's what I generally think in mind. Ki counting problem you cannot solve with greedy. Okay, counting problem you have to solve with DP only in general, or some brute force or some other idea. Okay, DP. We are struggling in online assessment. Online assessment are tough. है ही ऐसा चीज. So let me like kind of think about कि अच्छा, what if you want to do good at online assessment? What should you do? ठीक है. So I would say that one good practice for online assessments is code forces questions, but which don't have greedy and greedy on constructive tag on it. Okay. These questions are not really asked in a lot of OAs, and I feel a lot of people spend too much time on solving these because ABC. I have made this post on LinkedIn. I have put in the analysis of the topics that are asked, right? So ABCs are generally greedy and like constructive only in most cases, right? The main idea and some of maths, whereas these are the like lower, like I would say frequent topics in a OA. So people start practicing these, keep doing them till 1500 range, only to realize that they have a rating of 1500, 1600. But then other topic has techniques and tricks that you don't know. So that's why I think code forces has become a little irrelevant these days. I would not say that questions don't come directly from code forces. Also, sometimes I've seen that there has been question coming directly from code forces or some other site, but that's just chance of one question, right? I'm just talking about the general practice of giving contest on a site and then learning from it. That is no longer relevant from code forces, right? Instead, if you want to do better in OA, I think one of the best tests that exists right now is Lead Codes Weekly, right? Which happened, I think, today morning at 8. The last question that you saw in that in today's morning Lead Code Weekly was an online test question. Lead Code has put it later. This was originally a online test question, and then they put it in their test. Okay. This has appeared back 2-3 years back also in Uber's test, I suppose. Right, the same question that came in today's Lead Code Weekly's last one. Right. So these questions do come up very often. Okay. What do you think of InterviewBit? InterviewBit is pretty good site to practice in a structured way for interviews. Okay. But coding test is not relevant. See, there is a group of sites. I have to understand what is happening. There is a group of sites, Lead Code, Geeks for Geeks, and InterviewBit, and more sites like that, right? These are all what contains what we call as classical problems, right? Which means इसके solutions यही होते हैं. So if you practice too much on that, you can ace the interviews very well. I can tell you that because in India, not just in India, at any place outside too, people ask standard questions only, right? People ask, so how does interview questions get set, right? Let me tell you what my or most of engineers in the industry decide questions by, right? How do they decide? Most people decide that, hey, think about it this way. I have my favorite question, right? I have my favorite question, and you have to think about, okay, next time when I set for an interview, I have 2-3 such favorite questions of mine that I have decided, and I will pick one of them to ask to the candidate. Now, most of these questions are prepared by engineers themselves, which they enjoyed solving while they were learning themselves. And I think that's what people do. That's what people do in general. Like that's how interview questions are picked. And what are the questions that people love? Most probably they also in their preparation have practiced some amount of like lead code questions, right? So उसमें से पूछते हैं. Rating of questions on code forces for OA. So if I have to choose, if you solve till 1800, 1900 range problems, questions come from 2100 also. Like there is no bound as such. Okay? People take up ideas of 2100, 2200 and then create questions as well. But then till 2000, if you're able to solve questions of DP and graph and these topics.
Hello.
So,
Sir, in question 1, yeah, sample output is given 3, but in the explanation it's given 2.
Okay, that's I think some mistake. Let me check how many ways can you make 7? Think about it. I think then it should be 2.
Okay.
Like whatever is the correct number, with I'll check. 1, 2, 4 is correct. 3, 4 is correct. I don't think we can make more than that, right? No, I think 2. 2 is the correct answer. This should be 2. Correct. This should
Okay,
be
sir.
correct. Till what rating should we practice then? So I would say 2000 on CF. That would be a good range to practice for online assessment. Okay. Interview seems easier because they ask standard questions, topic mostly, but always so random. Yes. So that's what is happening. I will not say it's random, right? I have seen, like, if I sit for OA, most probably I will get out of 3 problems, whatever the hardest problem uh, is going to be the is going to be a technique that I've already seen. And that's what it has to become for anybody who is practicing for OA. कि वो technique दिखा होना चाहिए. That's it, right? Believe me when I say this, most good coders don't think about new problems when they are solving. I mean, I'm saying, not saying on code forces and all. For greedy, for constructive, you have to always think. But for most good coders, when they sit for tests, they don't have to think about these problems. They have solved these techniques before and they just redo that. Okay. Most of them don't solve new questions in test. Even if they do, like they are very used to giving contests and all, and that's why people get certain amount of like leverage. But then again, all like it's not about solving things uh, like that you haven't seen. All the 3 problems you have now, you have the techniques you have never seen before. It's not like that. Okay. So you have to know the techniques, kya kya aa rahe hai, kya kya nahi aa rahe hai. And generally I would suggest ki previous year tests are the best way to see the pattern. But that's what I do as an analysis. Okay. So that's what I generally look at, ki kya kya questions pooch rahe hai, kya nahi pooch rahe and stuff. So how to remember techniques that we run previously? Make notes. Yes, I think making notes is a key part to that. Okay. But let's talk about OA a little bit more. So this is there. For OA, the setup is ki hacker rank, hacker test pay, hacker earth pay, Codility is there. There are more test platforms like that which has started giving test to the companies, right? And they have like good questions, vocabulary. Most of these questions, how are they created? They are like created using interns who are good in competitive programming. So they take up tricks of competitive programming. They just add in questions. Okay, which are not standard, which you don't see in lead code directly. When is coordination happening? I thought about it. Like I think that was the highest rated test on like LinkedIn post that I made some time back. But the problem with that was ki it's a little tougher, and I just thought ki let's skip coordination because it's like an exception company for many of you. But again, it's good. But I think anybody who is aiming for coordination would know what to practice and all. Okay. But बाकी companies का थोड़ा different रहता है. So I thought कि let's go with the next one. So next one was D Shaw. So I thought let's pick D Shaw for today. JJ was saying disqualification. हाँ. Unmute करने के लिए disqualify तो हो जाना चाहिए. So let's see what these guys are doing. Whose screen should we see? Let's see Vibor's screen. Okay, Vibor is writing DP for the first solution, I suppose. Let's look at Shubham's screen. Let's write now. Let's see Naman's screen. Naman is also writing DP of n comma 7. Okay. What is Samagra doing? Oh, he should be disqualified. Arey, looking at Bin Pao. For God's sake, please don't copy paste. I think his code was correct only. Yes. So let's talk about this problem, what these guys are doing. I think many of you have already understood na, what to be done in this problem. This is a fairly classical problem. Like this is, everybody knows this problem called subset sum. How many of you know about it? How many of you don't know? Just quickly do a +1 on the chat if you know. How many of you know this famous problem called subset sum? Have you heard about this DP problem called subset sum? How many of you have heard about it? I've talked about this in my like DP like workshop or the playlist that I have on my channel now. So have heard about subset sum? It's a very classical problem. The thing is, the problem that we solve in subset sum is basically you are given bunch of elements like A1, A2, A3, so on, and you have to find a subset which has a sum equal to something. So what we can do is we can just think about every element. This is a form 1 problem. So I have talked about forms in my like workshop that I had taken on YouTube, and in form 1 we decide for every element we will take it in the subset or not take it, and we write dp of which element we are currently at, I, comma, we have to think about for every element whether we'll take it or not take it, and we will be able to maintain the subset sum or not. So let's suppose we have this element, right? So we have to make the subset sum equal to x. That was the original problem. In this case, sum should be divisible by 7. So sum, you have the from I, what is the sum that you want to make divisible by 7? Okay. What is the subset sum that you want to make? Mod 7, right? Because everything is remainder with 7 in this problem. So over here, there are two choices. If you take A1, if you take A2, right? So what is going to happen? What is the subset sum that you are currently having is what you have, right? Till the previous element, you have taken some choices कि अच्छा A1 को लेंगे, A2 को नहीं लेंगे, A3 को लेंगे, and so on. Based on that, what is the current subset sum mod 7? And if you take the ith element, you will get ai, nahi to you will get 0. Based on this, you will move to dp of I plus 1, comma, whatever the previous sum was plus a of I mod 7, because mod 7 you can simply take it this way. And then if you don't take it, then it will be dp of I plus 1, comma, this, right? And both of these will generate disjoint subset. Disjoint subset matlab, if we'll take this element, whatever we will get is all separate from if we don't take this element. So at the end, these two can be just summed up and you will get the answer over here, right? This is how you can think about this particular problem, and this is a very common state. Okay, so always think about ki what is the constraint in the problem and design states using that. Okay, how to do that? Just think about ki acha, sum needs to be divisible by 7. This is a very common state idea. Whenever you have to have something as a sum equal divisible by something, you take some mod that number in the state to address that constraint. कि अच्छा end पे जब हम लोग n पे पहुंचेंगे, base case when this will be 0, then only we will say that it's a divisible subset, or else it's not, right? So this is how you keep track of divisibility. So that is what DP is, right? There is forms, right? Frameworks on how you can approach, and then there are certain tactics कि अच्छा some remainder चाहिए होगा कभी भी, तो this is what you keep in any problem. In any problem, this is a very common state idea. Okay, sum exactly equal to x चाहिए, then you will just put sum over here, right? And so on. So every problem has its own ideas. Every constraint has its own state maintenance kind of a framework. That's what you have to practice. Okay, DP practice करना होगा. I mean, technically, if you're thinking about this problem too much, then शायद yes, because this is a fairly easy problem compared to what comes in coding tests in DP. How many of you would agree? How many of you agree कि DP में इससे बहुत tough question भी आते हैं coding test में? I mean, this is comparatively on the easier end of OAs in general. I can solve problems up till 1800 in CF, but not able to do them fast. Any suggestions? The speed is a function of number of problems you have solved. That is definitely there. But again, I think speed also comes with discipline on how quickly are you able to like figure out which topic it is. So what do we do in a question? When you get a question, there is a simple framework, right? You think about kisme jayega. It will go into either maths, या डीपी या ग्रीडी. सो व्हेन यू एक्सप्लोर दिस, यू थिंक कि अच्छा डीपी का कौन सा फॉर्म लगेगा. यू थिंक अबाउट इज इट फॉर्म 1, इज इट फॉर्म 2, राइट, and so on, right? In this, each of these form you will think about कि अच्छा state में क्या रख सकते हैं, like state idea 1, state idea 2, right? Now speed basically comes at two different part. One is how quickly can you navigate through this कि किसमें correct होगा कि this problem is DP, this problem is form 1, this problem is something like form taking the state as some mod 7. How quickly can you figure that out? That is one part of speed. Second part of speed is quickly coding without mistakes, right? That is another thing. Okay, so let's look at other codes now. But this is basically what you have to improve. देखो कौन सा तुम्हारा slow हो रहा है. Which of these two steps are taking slow, and there is like remedy for each of them. ठीक है. तो चलो देखते हैं what is Shubham doing. Shubham is I think doing the next problem. Shubham is fairly good coder. I mean, I had taught him back when he was in first year. So now he's like already very good. Samagri is getting wrong answer in second problem, I guess. And is Shubham Patil? No, he's not Shubham Patil. He's Shubham Kumar. But he's also a very good coder. I mean, I think out of everyone right now, I think he would be the highest rated. X into j plus v of I, what is the state that he's maintaining? I think there is some mistake in his code. Oh shit, he's trying to do multiplied by 10 mod 7. Why is that? That is not the case. Because Shubham is quite versed with his own template. ठीक है चलो. This is the first problem solved then. Let's move to the next problem then. What do you say? Next problem discuss करें. You can at least read the problem. I'll show you the problem. In fact, I think we can show you the hinter tutorial also. So it's dynamic programming, which level you are currently in, and the subset sum that you have taken till now. So that same transition, right? Okay. Let's move to the next one. Read this problem. It's a very beautiful problem. सबको first वाला समझ में आ गया? Is everybody clear with the first problem? Can I have a quick +1? First problem is clear. Is it okay if I solve these problems with top down? Yes, it's perfectly fine. I don't think in OAs or in interviews you will be thrashed on not being able to code it iteratively, right? सबसे हो गया ना first वाला, right? Good. Let's move to the next one. This is a very interesting problem. It's pretty weird, I mean, I'll say. Streamyard doesn't give me option for like as a multiple screen. कि एक screen side में है, then there is another screen and stuff. It's only one screen share at a time. Or else I would have shown you screens alongside mine. Sir, I'm in third year and I've done DSA a lot, but now I'm thinking to start CP because OAs are hard and a lot of companies. If I think you have pretty much good amount of time, it's a good time to start, I would say, because all the good companies that you will aim for will have some sort of OA barrier, ठीक है, जिसमें random questions ही आएंगे, right? You cannot really predict कि कितने level question आएंगे. So I think being able to solve a new problem in the test setup is something that competitive programmers are good at. I'm not saying that they will have very big leverage immediately as they start. But then when you do competitive programming, na, one more thing improves, which is not problem solving. It's more about debugging, right? I feel competitive programmers are much better debuggers in general compared to rest of the population. And that's what helps. Why? Because tests and interviews are a stress scenario. मतलब भाई बहुत टेंशन होता है, राइट? क्या करे, एक once you get a wrong answer दिमाग खराब हो जाता है instantly in a test. So if you have seen that multiple times before, it becomes a little more easier for you to handle that. Plus you have already listed techniques that a lot of competitive programmers use to help you out. So that's why I think CP is pretty good to do these things. Speed भी बढ़ जाता है बहुत. Vivek has written some code. He has written wrong code, na? J is there. This X into J plus this should not have been there. He's forming a number instead of it. It was just asking for a subset, I suppose. And I hope he's not solving. Yeah, he's just solving the first problem. He has read the problem wrong. So this is what happens when you read the problem wrong. That ideally you should not do coding unless you're sure. Okay. So like in the first problem, there was this one wrong test case, right? Wherein there was 3 written of 2. Believe me, there has been a ton of mistakes in tests over years. Okay. And everybody faced a lot of problems in those questions. Like there has been tests जहाँ पर Python में code ही नहीं हो रहा है. There have been tests where people have been facing issues in just understanding the problem statement. There have been people where there is a template code given which you cannot edit, but it is wrong. ठीक है, सोच लो क्या हो रहा है. There is, for a particular language, there is template code given which you cannot edit. There is a editable portion, there is non-editable portion. वो non-editable portion गलत है, right? So that is something that people have seen. There has been cases where test cases have been weak, test cases have been wrong. All sorts of test cases also these things also happen in online test. Very rarely though. I think these days it like multiple questions have already appeared before, so they have been tested quite a lot. And like every test creation companies do spend a lot of time in creating tests for or I mean testing these tests, right? Yeah, it's frustrating. I think what I do is I switch languages. I change language and then I move to something else. Because if I know it's wrong, then I can move to other language, no? Like generally what happens is in other language it's correct. Okay. Samak is reading the last problem. Okay, so folks have moved to the last problem. Let's go back to our second problem. Let's solve second problem now. What do you think? Should we solve the second problem now? पढ़ लो एक बार. What should be the idea? Tell me the idea first. Like what would you do if you have to do it? For and or has to be equal for subsequences. Doesn't the bit of all numbers should be same? Maybe that's right. Plus there is one more criteria, think about it. XOR is also has to be same to these. Okay. Logic बताओ क्या लिखोगे? There is a very simple one liner logic that you can do for this problem. Right? Jasper, you are correct. The logic that you are suggesting on the comments is actually on the chat is correct, right? But उसके ऊपर भी थोड़ा चीजें build करनी है. Sir, I have basic DSA and I have 1 year. I started reading Introduction to Algorithms. I have one. No, don't stick to books. I don't prefer books for solving theoretical, practical questions. Instead, book wise, there are a lot of good books available. Like CP3 is a pretty good book. There is a lot of books available compared to which, like Coreman, which would give you like theoretical view of a lot of things. I have read Coreman in my theoretical algorithm course, but not for, it hasn't really helped me too much in solving questions. So to solve questions, solve questions. Okay. Which one? I haven't seen your comment. I'm very sorry if I missed it by chance. But I don't see that comment anywhere in the last few messages. Paste it again, I'll take it up, Avnish. For even length subsequence, every element should be 0. Correct. For even length, everything has to be 0 because sort of the XOR is 0, right? And OR is 0 and AND is 0. So everything should be 0. Yeah, makes sense. I think the same problem should be there in CSES. I have also talked to AlgoZenith on this one. Like this platform, like its model is changing. I think the tests which we have been doing on our channel will be made free for all to be attempted, so that you can practice these questions later on too. So it will get added very soon. Like they hadn't done it in the coding part, so now I have asked them to change it. कि जो जो टेस्ट मैं कराऊंगा क्लास में स्ट्रीम पे, those should be available to code directly, right? Avnish, I am not able to see any question from you. So which question? Just take it, just post it, and then I'll take it. But I think the frequency of elements has to be odd for XOR to be equal. Yes, that's correct. How do I practice for OA for upcoming intern in 1 month? In 1 month, there is very little you can do. But what I would suggest is start giving mashups of DP graph problems from other code, like of code forces, in the range of 1600 to 1800, 1400 to 1800. Chalo, make it a little easier for you. That's the level you will see. And none of them should have the constructive or greedy tag. So yes, that's again, I think Vaibhav, I also answered your question. I think the tests these days ask questions or tricks that have appeared 2 years before in code forces, right? For odd length, all elements may not be equal. How is that? Tell me, give an example. Give an example where AND and OR and XOR will all same if they are not all equal. I think all of them needs to be equal. Okay, I suppose Shubham is starting to code the last problem. Yeah, this is Samagra. They're still reading the first problem? That's very weird. Vibhor has made another submission. Something is wrong with the first code he has understood. So as long as he's writing x into j, that is wrong, no? Sum of the subset needs to be divisible by 7, not the number created by the subset. He's doing that as wrong only. Doesn't need to be j like that. I don't know why he's multiplying with j. Very weird. For odd length subsequence, all elements are equal. SS page. ठीक है. क्या टेस्ट का SS मांग रहे हो क्या? सर्च करो, आजकल ऑनलाइन भी अवेलेबल होने लगा है इधर उधर, जैसे लगता है. Hello Vivek, I am a student of dual degree. How should I continue my CP journey since the question of OA from very difficult from code forces? नहीं, code forces will help you. I'm not saying कि don't do code forces. In general, improving in CP will help you there. But then सिर्फ like going till C level will not help you. Solve the D and E problems also. That's what I'm saying. ठीक है? Like upsolve them practically. Not at the very start, but then over time. Am I missing something on the chat? Okay, let me go back. I think I'm not seeing this on YouTube. So is something getting filtered for me? Like because I feel कि कुछ तो भी okay. I don't know why this is being filtered on the StreamYard. I now can see your question, Avnish. I'm very sorry that your questions were getting filtered. I will not take questions from the YouTube chat instead of this. ठीक है. I am consistency 3500 days plus lead code. I've solved this. I'm still stuck now. अभी हम लोग रिव्यूइंग नहीं कर रहे हैं, but lead code will not help you in like this unless you're able to solve the fourth question of every OA. Think about your ideal target to be able to solve fourth problem of every lead code weekly. That's the very good target to have. अगर आपसे fourth question consistently बन रहा है lead code weekly का, तो most probably you will solve OAs also. ठीक है. हाँ मतलब पूछते हैं, वो तो प्रॉब्लम है ही. There is one more set, like CSCS is a good set. Okay, that's another like very good like set to practice from standard questions. Okay, I was thinking of more free resources, but I think these are there. Paid में तो like almost all of you know कि मतलब I would always suggest if you want to take a training, it is definitely the top one in that. ठीक है, I teach there तो I'll obviously recommend it. Not just because I teach, but उसमें से बहुत सेम मतलब बहुत अच्छे क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस हो जाते हैं सारे फॉर्म्स जितने. इन द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन वी कैन जस्ट स्टोर ऑल सबसेट सम्स विद वेक्टर एंड इटरेट वेक्टर चेक द सबसेट. सम्स आर डिविजिबल बाय 7 और नॉट. नहीं, ऑल सबसेट सम दैट विल बी 2 to the power n. चलो इसमें करते हैं. लेट्स सॉल्व क्वेश्चन नंबर 2. ओके, या so basically we have to make sure that we are counting things correctly, right? So let's have a look at, I will directly explain it from there. Okay, for even the XOR to be equal to the, so first hint is if A and B is equal to A or B, this implies A equal to B. Did everybody get this idea? If OR and XOR, sorry, OR and AND both are same, that means both numbers are also same. Is this clear? Why? Because if there is any particular like bit which is off in any of the numbers, then they will be off in AND but on in OR. So in total, every number will have to have that bit on, or all of them will have off. Okay, so do it for every bit and you just realize that everything needs to be same. That is first observation. Second number, for even XOR to be equal, there should be odd number of elements. Except for 0, we can take any number of elements, right? 0 we can take any number of times. That's a very good observation. I think some people made a mistake on the 0 wala case. 0 wala kuch bhi ho sakta hai, but then for rest, it can be done by just taking odd number of frequency. So kuch nahi, just maintain a frequency map, right? For each value, if it is non-zero, we choose any odd subsequence, like just 2 to the power frequency. So if there are x elements and you have to choose odd number of elements out of it, a subset of odd number of elements, the number of ways is 2 to the power frequency minus 1, because it's nothing but, let's suppose there are x elements, उसमें से you have to choose odd element, so you will choose x choose 1 plus x choose 3 plus x choose 5, right? This sum is nothing but 2 to the power x minus 1. Okay, this choose sums always. Okay, this choose sum is always this. Right, so These are the two solution, and this, I think my screen was not shared when I was telling this, but yeah, this is pretty much the idea. And then for 0, we can choose any subsequence, so 2 to the power frequency minus 1. All subsequences except none. क्योंकि देखो अगर एलिमेंट 0 है तो कितने भी ले सकते हो, राइट? फॉर 0 you can take any number of elements. It's not bounded by the total amount of elements that are currently present, isn't it? मतलब उसमें ऐसा नहीं है ना कि ऑड नंबर लेना है. You can, even if you take 2 zeros, there's or is 0, and is 0, or is 0. So for other elements it has to be odd number of elements, but for 0 you can take any number of any subsequence, okay, any subset. So basically you have to do it in, you can do it in 2 to the power all subsets minus the empty one. Yes. ठीक है. So this is how you solve this problem. Let's take एक बार quote. कुछ नहीं है. So you just go through all elements, add them to the frequency map. Then for all elements you just go through, you take the frequency of 0 and then take 2 to the power frequency of 0 minus 1 and take a mod. And for every other element, if it is non-zero, then 2 to the power frequency minus 1, take in a mod with that. Yeah, this was more of an observation and a edge case. ठीक है, ये edge case and थोड़ा सा मतलब bit manipulation का observation समझ में आना चाहिए. Then only you will be able to solve this. The first one was straightforward DP. ठीक है, it was topic DP. Coding तो इसका बहुत easy है. Like this is much easier code to write, of course. Clear everyone? How is this working? Yes or no? Even you don't need fast power. Even if you iterate to calculate power, it will work because the power can at most be the sum of frequency of that element. ठीक है. तो क्वेश्चन में क्या बोला था? Whenever you have this, so understand this. Whenever you have this statement, all and the ands of the number is equal to ors of the number, the immediate observation is all the elements are same. Number one. Number two, if zor is also equal to that, that means if all elements are equal, if you take odd number of elements, the zor is 0. If you take even number of elements, zor is that number. Okay. So in this case, we need odd number of elements, except for 0, because 0 to even bhi chalega. So we just take 0 separately, and then for non-zero elements, we do this. That's it. Okay. And just take the modulo and stuff correctly. Clear everyone? That's what we are doing in this problem. 70% idea clear ho gaya? Three observation, the three observations that were relevant for this problem, is that part clear to all? Yes or no? Let's see what these guys are doing. Vivek is coding, I think, the second problem now. He's also writing the frequency map. Okay, here he has observed the 0 wala case separately, so he will be able to write it. Is the 0 wala case available in the sample case? Acha, haan. For 0 it's there. No. Oh. Had this test case not been given, then there would have been problem. 0 is available in the sample set. Acha. That's why people are able to solve it. I was just thinking, how are people able to come up with the 0 wala case? It's not that trivial if you think about it. There is a very good chance a lot of people would make mistake on that 0 wala case. Okay. So 1 ho gaya, 2 ho gaya, right? We talked about 1 and 2. Let's move to 3. Shall we? 2 clear to all? Can I have a quick plus from everyone who is watching? Next, we'll move to question number 3 then. No, these kind of things happen in test. Chalo. Let's move to number 3 then. Let's see once everybody stream. Shubham is writing some code. Samagra is writing, I think, the mod 7 wala question. He did the second question first, I suppose. Naman is doing Binpaw, so he is doing the second problem. He's doing b.cpp. Okay. I think only Shubham has reached the third problem as of now. And which makes sense. I mean, we are discussing it so fast, but it's not that easy to code these. Okay. Read the third problem now. Okay. Okay. Now this looks a little more complicated. We also find the largest number that can be formed using the digits over the range 1 to 9, so that sum of the digits is k. Okay. How would you solve this problem? And the constraints are fairly large. K is up to 2000. N is like, of course, there are 9 digits, right? And each digit has a cost. You have k equal to 14. What is the largest? Then I can use 8 and then 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 3 times, 9 plus 8, 5, 14. Okay. कैसे करोगे बताओ? How will you solve this problem? Constraints is in front of you as well. I think this is difficult to complete. I think only Shubham might be able to do this. Let me see what Shubham is writing. I think he's in correct direction itself. But something might have gone wrong for him. Okay, there are a lot of test cases also. In fact, there is a very interesting observation. Test cases is 10 to the power 5. And there is a big hint. It is guaranteed that the sum of k square over all test cases is less than or equal to 400 to the power 6. This is Shubham. Let's add back everyone. Let's see Shubham's stream. He's getting wrong answer on this, I guess. Okay. 2D DP make k square, when then we can DP values to find answer. Will that work? Yes, I mean, I think we can do it in just single DP. That's a correct idea. It's a little difficult to implement comparatively. I think there is something better too. Okay. Because see, the numbers are not really changing, right? If I give a certain value of k, the answer is fixed. So what I think is possible is to cache it across all test cases. Okay. All the mean DP itself. But the cost change. No, we cannot do that. Yes, you are correct. We have to compute it every time. Okay. So what we can do is look at how you can do it. I think I can also do it in just single form too. Like what is the longest length you can make is what we can try and save and return in DP, right? Because length is what we have to maximize first, and then if you know the digits that you can place, then I can rearrange the largest numbers towards the front. So do you get this idea that we have to make the length first of all longest, number one, with non-zero starting, of course, right? And then zero is anyways not available. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to find the largest number. Now, so a number is large when two things happen. Number one, the length is as large as possible. Like 10 to the power 3 is bigger than 10 to the power 2, right? So the larger the number, the better it is. The second thing that happens in such cases is if you have to think about making it large given a set of digits already fixed, you will always put the larger numbers in the front. Is this part clear to everyone? Is this part making sense? The two things that you can tweak over here is, number one, make the length largest. For whichever sets that are possible with that, keep the largest number in the front largest, as large as possible, right? With just that, we can actually solve this problem with just this observation. Okay, so let's try to solve this problem in a proper framework way, like we used to do in DP workshop. I'm assuming that you are new to this problem. So let's see how you solve this problem. Okay. So what we'll do is DP of, like, let's suppose you have to make a big number, right? So over here, let's suppose you have used some x sum, and over here there is some k minus x left, right? At how much you can spend, how much do you need to get exactly over here? Okay. So what happens, what you can do is you can just see ki, acha, greedily I have chosen some digits and this much is left. Isn't the problem independent over here? Matlab, if I know that whatever amount of sum is left to be built, उससे जो भी largest बना सकते हैं उसको ही लगाएंगे ना यहाँ पर इसके बाद, whatever largest, both in length and in digits. After a certain point, okay, if you are left with certain amount of like score left, right, you will build the largest possible number with just that score and add it at the end, isn't it? Is that true? What do you think? Suppose हमने, like in the problem you are given, let's take the sample case. Okay, that will give you more clarity about this. Okay, if you think about this, okay, 14. तो 14 में क्या है कि in when you are solving for 14, you are swinging for maximum कितने digits हो पाएंगे? So you somehow, let's suppose, found out that you have maximum 4 digit possible, and 4 digits is possible with a 8. So over here you are left with, if you put 8 over here, the cost of 8 was, let's see in the code, 5. Okay, so you have to make 14. You already took a cost of 5. So over here you have to spend 9. So can I say just this much? Ki over here 8 plus best you can form with 9 is what you need to do. Yes or no? सबसे largest longest जो होगा and then जिसके digit सबसे ज्यादा होगा सामने, that is the number that will form even with 9. So can I say that if you have some dp of how much sum is left, okay, from over here, if you place some a over here plus I'm just writing it over here, you will try to put the largest that you can do dp of left minus cost of a. Isn't this possible? Right? Is this making sense? कि अभी जो भी नंबर बिठाया उसका जो कॉस्ट है सब्ट्रैक्ट हो गया and then from here after build as large number as possible. It's an independent problem all the way. You don't even have to pre-decide the number of digits that are there in the number. ठीक है, यहां तक समझ में आया? अभी भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट बचा हुआ है. Like this is not the harder part of this problem. Okay, Shubham is doing some KK2, which is hard to pass, I think. Vibhor is looking at third problem. Can the number fit in LL range? No. That's the thing. Now, how to find the number of digits? ठीक है. So what will we do? Let's do it in the form way. ठीक है. So we are deciding the current number and we are taking the next thing. So I'll just simply say dp of, in fact, the index is not even relevant. How much sum is left? ठीक है. It's sort of form 1, but the index is not relevant because whatever you put, you just try to get the maximum. There is no limit of n or something like that, right? There is no limit of how many digits. Put as many as possible. Okay. So if you have this much sum left, okay, this basically tells you number of digit, maximum number of digits you can have in the number. Okay. You are over here, you are building the number. What is the maximum number of digits you can have? Because जितना ज़्यादा होगा उतना बड़ा number होगा. Everybody agrees on this part, that this is a state that we can keep how much sum is left and what is the maximum number of digits I can build in the number. Okay, based on the costing structure. Now this is the state for this problem. Think about the transition. Okay, from over here, if you decide to put 1 or 2 or something like a over here, right, some x over here, let's suppose. Okay, so what can I do? If I put x over here, in that case what will happen is I will have to pay the cost of this number. So the left whatever this number is, like it will be an integer only, but I'm just writing it like a character because we are creating a string. So this is what we will do, plus this much will be left. So you build the largest string like that plus 1 because you have this in the front. Is this the largest? Is this the maximum number of digits that you can do? इसको बैठाने के बाद जो भी longest बना सकते हो, that will be the part plus 1 because ये एक extra digit add किया है. So this is the dp for getting the maximum number of digits. Can I say this is true for everyone? Clear to this particular transition? There will be like exactly from this state, there would be O of 9 transitions or O of 1 transitions, but there will be 9 transitions basically. Clear? Here a dp clear again. Is this part clear to everyone or not? If you have seen my workshop, there is like a proper step-by-step thing. Next thing that we do is we do time complexity check. Okay. For that, what we do is we just look at, hey, what do we have in the dp formulation? So over here we have left can be at most k. So states, number of states is equal to k. How many transitions? Number of transitions per state is 9. Okay. So in total, because this is strictly decreasing, there will be only k thing. So total time complexity is k into t. Sorry, k into 9. Is this clear that you can find the number of digits, maximum number of digits in O of k? करते करते we'll come to that, how to keep track of. So we have to build the number, right? Question तो ये नहीं है कि बस निकालो maximum number of digits. The question is to build the number. We'll talk about that. That's a very interesting thing. ठीक है. यहाँ तक सबको clear है? The time complexity and the solution idea. I think I have explained all of these things very well in workshop. So if you haven't seen that, look at it. It will give you a lot of good ideas. It's not 100% beginner friendly in the sense that I've not talked about absolute basic problems of DP, but I've talked about a lot of ways to think better. Okay. I don't think, I think there is already enough content on how to solve standard questions. So what I mostly focus on my channel is how to think about a little harder problems. ठीक है, मतलब या फिर how even in easier topics, how can you build frameworks that can help you solve them faster or easier in an easier way. ठीक है. So that's what is generally the goal on YouTube. So this is the time complexity. I feel a lot of things can be learned. This is something I missed when I was actually doing computer programming myself. A lot of things can be learned very easily if there is like somebody who is superior or tells you कि ये मैं ऐसे सोचता हूँ. Because it's problem solving is not about learning solutions. With solutions तो तुम दुनिया भर के याद कर लोगे, दुनिया भर के tutorials है ही, right? It's mostly going to be about कि how does somebody who is senior in the sense that they have done more amount of questions think about a particular topic or think about a particular problem for themselves. ठीक है, मतलब वो कैसे सोचते हैं. If you can copy that, I think a lot of good learning can be drawn out of it. And I'm not saying that I am the only person. Like there are many people who teach that way. And watch whoever you feel you can extract a lot out of. ठीक है, but पक्के से ये चीजें करो. That will be there. That will build you in a much better way compared to remembering solutions. Because I think biggest problem of India is कि हम लोग सिर्फ एकदम ही basic level पे करते हैं. Like we just talk about okay ये रट लो. No, that's not the way, right? There is abstractions on top of it. There is something called as Bloom's taxonomy. You first of all you just memorize. That's the lowest level of understanding. Then you have to. Then there is an like conceptual building or understanding step. जहाँ पर आप समझते हो कि solution काम कैसे कर रहा है. Next, then there is analysis कि क्यों काम किया, इसको मैं कहाँ और लगा सकता हूँ, right? There is a proper taxonomy on top of it कि how to learn better. ठीक है. That's वैसे my zone. मतलब I am more into teaching कि how do you build trainings and how do you build teaching. That is my zone. But मैं बता रहा हूँ मतलब these are things that are important. तो learn from somebody else in the sense that वो कैसे सोच रहे हैं. Not कि solution क्या है, code तो आप देख ही लोगे, ठीक है, code नहीं. How are they thinking? That is something you should try to pick things. Okay. So time complexity is done. So code will also be very simple. This is like a very simple DP code. The main thing that is left now is how do you get the number? What is the idea? Batao. I am waiting for some of you to tell me how do you get the number. Any ideas? Yes, no philosophy. But that is also important, but not today. तुम लोग क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करो पहले. बताओ कैसे करोगे. So you have the DP to find maximum number. How do you find that maximum number now? First observation. Let's suppose if 583 is possible, like when you are doing this, okay, 583 is also possible, 853 is also possible, 358, all of these things will lead you to the same thing in this whole space that we are doing. Is this clear to everyone? That if you put, it is not dependent on how the numbers are ordered. Do you get this? कि number ordering तो matter ही नहीं करता है. Yes, correct. Shubhankar, that's a good idea. That's actually the correct idea, in fact. See, so what Shubham might have done is he optimized the immediate move, so he got 9 at the first, but then the number of digits is smaller. So we allowed the digits to be this. This is what I fear quite a lot. कि minimum के साथ, okay, it passed. कि minimum का जो digit divisible है उससे, then he just tries to greedily push this further. I don't think this might work because it's a knapsack game. So greedily using the minimum to decide the maximum number of digits, that is possible. But then कौन सा वाला use करेंगे, it might not be that same number. ठीक है. So how do we do this? देखो, बहुत simple है. ध्यान से मेरी स्क्रीन को देखना. I will tell you a very interesting way to think about these problems. Okay. So how is this happening? पहले कहीं पर कुछ dp of k का state रहा होगा, right? रेड ब्लैक नंबर्स हो सकता है, आई एम नॉट श्योर. ठीक है. तो इधर क्या हो सकता है, हमने 9 ट्राई करा होगा, 8 ट्राई करा होगा, 7 ट्राई करा होगा, ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स, राइट? सो वी वुड हैव रीच्ड डीपी ऑफ k minus 9, डीपी ऑफ k minus 7, 8, डीपी ऑफ k minus 7, ठीक है, एंड सो ऑन. ऑब्वियसली बेस्ड ऑन, लाइक, आई एम वेरी सॉरी, नॉट जस्ट 7, 8, 9, cost of 9, right? So much every time. Right, this was the value. Now suppose this value got some number, answer, मतलब इसका जो maximum आया, we took the maximum over here and we got it as some number y. ठीक है. First very very big observation, it was a max. तो यहाँ पर कोई ना कोई तो transition y रहा होगा, right? Some of them, like maybe some number over here, this was y, this led to y, some bunch of numbers led to y. Is this true? अरे कोई तो y आया होगा तभी तो maximum y आया, right? Isn't it? So we are taking a max to calculate the dp state value and somebody would have come as max to get that value, right? नहीं तो फिर हुआ कैसे ये चीज, right? So now can I say that at the first digit only those that lead me to y are a valid numbers, are the valid digits? मतलब अगर 9 से करके y मिल रहा है मुझे, तो that means 9 is possible at the front. If I'm taking 7 and I'm getting y, then 7 is possible in the front, and so on. Is this clear to everyone? That the feasibility of a number at a particular position is decided by whether that leads to the same maximum that I'm currently getting for my dp. Is this clear? So in this case, very simply just try karo. If you have k, agar 9, so let's suppose the longest you can make is some number y. इतने सारे digit हो सकते हैं, ठीक है? तो अगर 9 से possible है y digit बनाना, तो isn't putting 9 the best thing to do right now? Yes or no? अगर 9 से पॉसिबल नहीं है तो 8 से ट्राई करो. क्या 8 से हम लोग वाई डिजिट बना सकते हैं? क्या 7 से बना सकते हैं? एंड सो ऑन. तो once you have the DP values, available, you can simply check कि अच्छा अगर इसका वैल्यू इसके बराबर है, in that case 9 is possible. If it is equal to 7, then this is possible. So based on that, you know which digits are possible at the start. शिवम तो अलग ही ट्रोल कर रहे इधर. हाँ, ट्रोलिंग चल रही चैट में. हाँ, when do CP? हाँ, मतलब CP is harder, but I think it's a good investment. I have seen many people talking about trade-offs here and there कि क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. I think it's a good thing to invest time on in college. Some people say कि time waste होता है and all those things. बहुत ही bogus logic है, मेरे को ऐसा लगता है. ठीक है. There is a whole realm of people who are good at CP and they are consequently good at even dev also even after that. मुझे बहुत लोग बोलते हैं कि विवेक कॉलेज के बाद तो dev ही करना है. Why should we do CP in college and all, right? Like that is almost like an extreme bogus logic. अगर आप लोगों को कॉलेज में जाकर के कंप्यूटर साइंस ही पढ़ना था तो why did you study maths, physics, chemistry in school, right? If you never needed social science, why did you had that in college? तो पढ़ाई क्यों किया? छोड़ देते, जीरो ले आते उसमें एग्जाम में, है ना? तो अगर इफ द मार्केट वांट्स कि आपका सिलेक्शन सीपी के स्किल्स के बेसिस पे हो रहा है, तो और उससे आपका अच्छा जॉब लग सकता है पॉसिबली, लाइक नंबर्स इंक्रीज consequently because of doing more CP. I'm just saying because many people are interested in numbers, but I don't think people should do CP only for that. But still, ठीक है. So at the fresher level, अगर आपको ज्यादा पैसा मिल रहा है, ठीक है, तो क्यों नहीं? ठीक है. आपने तब आज तक जिंदगी में, फिर तो यार आप हर चीज ही मत करो. फिर तो किसी भी चीज करने का क्या पर्पस है? मुझे I was talking to like a junior I was mentoring very recently and we had this discussion कि somebody was saying कि नहीं, क्या उसको किसी ने बोल दिया कि क्या करोगे सब करके, जॉब में जाके तो डेव ही करना है and all those things. तो फिर तो तुम फिर जॉब में भी जाके फिर वो डेव क्यों कर रहे हो? तुमको बाद में तो सिस्टम डिजाइन करना है, वो करो. फिर सिस्टम डिजाइन तुमको लोगों को मैनेज करना है, मैनेज करो बैठ के अभी से. तो बिल्कुल ही बोगस लॉजिक होता है, ठीक है. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. इट्स लाइक तुमको जो अच्छा लग रहा है वो करो, दैट इज ट्रू. बट देन समझो कि व्हाट इज बीइंग आस्क्ड टू गेट सिलेक्टेड, ठीक है, उसके लिए जो करना पड़ेगा वो करना पड़ेगा. खत्म बात. ठीक है. अब फिर लोग बोलेंगे नहीं मुझे रैट रेस में मत दौड़ो भाई, जिसको जो करना है फिर करो, मैं तो बस सजेशन देने के लिए हूँ, राइट. एंड देन अगेन मुझे ऐसा लगता है इट्स द बेस्ट थिंग टू डू टू गेट थ्रू दिस जॉब मार्केट. बट देन अगेन मैंने सिर्फ जॉब के लिए नहीं करा था. आई डिड इट बिकॉज आई पर्सनली लव्ड डूइंग सीपी. आई वाज प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर आईसीपीसी वर्ल्ड फाइनल्स एंड दैट वाज माय गोल ऑल टुगेदर. ठीक है. So I enjoyed it even more. I never looked at कि how do you get to a stage जहाँ पर पैसे मिल जाए मुझे उसके वजह से. But then again आज के टाइम में तो पता है कि ओए में अगर वही पूछ रहा है, वही करना है, तो क्यों नहीं करना है? मुझे तो ये समझ में नहीं आता है. ठीक है, क्योंकि वो हार्ड है. ट्रू. तो अगर हार्ड चीजें नहीं करनी तो एक्सपेक्टेशन कम कर लो अपना. दैट इज अनदर ऑप्शन. यही दो ही ऑप्शन है तुम्हारे पास. नहीं तो फिर वही लगेगा कि सोचोगे कि मैं तो मेहनत कर रहा हूँ बट मुझे रिजल्ट नहीं मिल रहा है. ठीक है. आई मीन देखो डेव से भी बहुत अच्छे अच्छे प्रोफाइल्स मिलते हैं, बहुत अच्छे अच्छे जॉब्स मिलते हैं. ठीक है. ऑल दोस थिंग्स आर पॉसिबल. जो भी लोग बोलते हैं रिमोट जॉब्स एंड ऑल, सब मिलता है. ठीक है, सब पॉसिबल है. बट देन मुझे लगता है कि रिमोट जॉब्स इज आल्सो देयर फॉर ओनली ऑफ अ फ्रैक्शन ऑफ पीपल. उसमें भी बहुत हाइट है. ऐसे नहीं मिलता है. मतलब इट्स पॉसिबल टू गेट दैट, बट उसके लिए भी उतना ही लेवल का टैलेंट चाहिए जितना सीपी में अच्छा रेटिंग लाने के लिए चाहिए. ठीक है. उसमें भी देयर इज दैट ओनली दैट टॉप फ्रैक्शन जिसको वो मिलेगा. ठीक है. बट सीपी में क्या है, इट्स अ बिग स्पेक्ट्रम. रेटिंग कैन बी फ्रॉम 2000 इससे उतना ऊपर तक. उधर क्या है कि यू हैव टू बी इन दैट टॉप 1% डेवलपर. वो भी आज के टाइम पे इतने लोग बेरोजगार घूम रहे हैं मार्केट में कि देयर इज गोइंग टू बी अ लॉट ऑफ रिक्वायरमेंट्स एट जहां पर रिक्वायरमेंट है सबको अप्लाई करते हैं. तो इट्स सुपर डिफिकल्ट टू गेट थ्रू दैट. तो इफ यू आर इन अ कैंपस जहां पर ऑन कैंपस अपॉर्चुनिटी आ रही है, तो it's their like much better to do CP. ठीक है. अगर कैंपस में नहीं भी आ रहे तब भी करना चाहिए मेरे ख्याल से. I was talking to some students who were in Tier 3 club very recently. तो उन्होंने भी करा था. एंड मैं ये भी कुछ दिन बाद लाइक बता दूंगा कि जैसे लोग बोलते हैं कि HFT वगैरह पॉसिबल नहीं है टायर 3 वगैरह से भी, ठीक है. There is a different track that you can take for that. I was thinking of making a video on this, ठीक है. There's a different track that you can take through which can lead you to a good job position also in HFTs kind of companies, ठीक है. वो भी मैं बताऊंगा तुम लोग. And मेरे पास ऐसे मैं हवा में numbers नहीं बोलता हूँ, ठीक है. I have people who have done that, तभी बता रहा हूँ, ठीक है. So in that case, I'll tell you how exactly that is possible too. There are like you have to start with smaller HFTs, smaller financial funds, and then उसके बाद ऊपर move करना पड़ता है. So I'll talk about that. There are many companies that hire even मतलब if you are just good at C++, low latency developing, ठीक है. उसका requirements अलग है, but then it is also possible. And if you do CP, you get good at like ऐसे C++ के syntaxes and stuff. Why is in place back faster than pushback and things like this. Very 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 basic, ठीक है. So there are a lot of things like this that you have to understand. But then again, मतलब मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि even at this point in time the best way to get hired is still CP. मुझे ऐसा लगता है. अगर टाइम है, थोड़ा टाइम लगता है CP को, like you have to give 4 months of time to CP to at least see some good improvement. And most of us have very less patience. Fortunately, I have a good amount of patience. ठीक है. Majorly built because I played a lot of chess in my school days. I think I was very fortunate for that in that sense. मुझे लगता है कि मेरा पेशेंस बहुत ज़्यादा है, इन द सेंस कि मैं कोई भी चीज़ बहुत टाइम तक कर सकता हूँ विदाउट एक्सपेक्टेशन ऑफ रिजल्ट. मैं कोई मतलब ऐसे बहुत स्मार्ट या बहुत ये नहीं हूँ, ठीक है. बट आई कैन डू समथिंग फॉर वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम विदाउट एक्सपेक्टेशंस. दैट इज आई थिंक अ बिगर पावर टू हैव, एंड दैट इज समथिंग दैट हैज हेल्प्ड मी क्वाइट लॉट. तो इन चीज़ों पे फोकस करो. And dev maybe I think there have been friends who have done very good in that. मतलब I'm मतलब kind of proud of them कि भाई मचा रहे वो लोग ऐसे लेवल पे, ठीक है. उस पे opportunity मिलता है. But I have seen on campus even my friends who have cracked GSOC and all finding it tough to crack OAs and getting selected in things, ठीक है. Even if they sit for, तो उनको फिर और fight मारना पड़ता है. So I feel at least in top colleges तो आपको CP ही करना चाहिए. अगर आपको टेक में नहीं जाना, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट कॉल, ठीक है. बट अगेन सॉफ्टवेयर में रोल चाहिए तो फिर आई थिंक यू शुड डू. हाउ मेनी कोड फोर्सेस रेटिंग इज एनफ दो क्रैक गूगल इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चंस? वही प्रॉब्लम है. कोड फोर्सेस पे रेटिंग कैन बी इज पॉसिबल यूजिंग जस्ट दिस जस्ट greedy ad hoc, but उससे टेस्ट क्रैक नहीं होगा. तो what I would say is like 2000 kind of rating होगा तो बेस्ट है, सब क्रैक हो जाएगा फिर, मेरे ख्याल से हो जाता है लोगों का. बट देन अगेन DE जो देखो, मैं इससे कोई कोरिलेशन ही नहीं है रेटिंग से. मैं आपको बताता हूँ, इफ यू कैन सॉल्व लीड कोड वीकलीज लास्ट क्वेश्चन कंसिस्टेंटली, तुम गूगल क्रैक कर लोगे. आई डोंट थिंक कि तुमसे नहीं हो पाएगा, ठीक है. योर गोल हैज टू बी टू क्रैक lead code weekly's last question consistently. Yes, correct. Some even make it with 1600, some even cannot crack it with 1800. That's the thing. That's what I was saying ना. The reason being for that is कि किसी का algorithmic part strong होता है, किसी का ad hoc part strong होता है. Some people get 1600 even in like 1-2 months. It's very much possible, ठीक है, क्योंकि उसमें ad hoc लगता है. You don't really need too much of algorithmic knowledge to solve questions like that. I think somebody we have on the chat pack. हाँ विभोर, बताओ.
बढ़िया टेस्ट था.
अच्छा, कितना हुआ?
बन गए, तीनों हो गए.
ओके, नाइस. विभोर ने जरा से मचा दिया. दिखाओ जरा, लाइक तीनों टेस्ट के सॉल्यूशंस दिखाओ. लेट्स डिस्कस क्विकली.
हाँ, एक सेकंड. मतलब
विभोर ने
पहले वाले में
गलत पढ़ लिया था. विभोर ने पहले क्वेश्चन को,
हाँ मैंने मतलब वो अलग ही कर दिया था उसको.
हाँ, जे से मल्टीप्लाई कर रहे थे कुछ, तो भी मैंने देखा एक से. या आई सॉ द कोड.
फिर वो एकदम लास्ट में स्ट्राइक हुआ कि मैं क्वेश्चन ही गलत पढ़ा, तो फिर वो चेंज कर दिया.
हाँ, राइट, करेक्ट. दिस इज करेक्ट.
बस वो इसलिए वो J+VI कर दिया मॉड्यूलर 7 बाद में. ये पहला था.
हाँ, विभोर के सारे दोस्त इधर आकर के बता रहे हैं विभोर विद CGPA 9.5 गॉड फॉर अ रीजन. विभोर के बहुत फैन फॉलोइंग है इधर चैट पे. उन्होंने फट से खत्म भी कर दिया। नाइस, चलो ये तो सही है। फ्रीक्वेंसी वाला जीरो वाला केस सैंपल में था इसलिए हो गया, नहीं तो वो मिस होने के चांसेस थे।
हाँ, पर ये वाला मैंने थोड़ा देखा हुआ था पहले, जीएफजी पे भी पहले देखा था ये वाला क्वेश्चन,
ओके ओके, गॉट इट।
इसलिए याद ही था। और ये वाला तो मतलब पहले मैं ग्रीडी अप्रोच लगा रहा था, फिर याद आया कि मैक्सिमाइज पहले लेंथ करना है, उसके बाद फिर नंबर को मैक्सिमाइज करना है।
करेक्ट।
तो बस
तो वही फिर पहले पहले डीपी लेंथ को मैक्सिमाइज कर डीपी लिख लिया, फिर उसके बाद लाइक
उसके बाद फिर उल्टा लूप चलाया, तो उसकी वजह से जो मैक्सिमम नंबर होगा उस पर्टिकुलर लेंथ का, तो वो प्रिंट हो गया उससे।
ओके, गॉट इट, करेक्ट, एग्जैक्टली। दिस इज एग्जैक्टली जो हमने अभी भी डिस्कस करा स्ट्रीम में भी, हमने यही सेम चीज डिस्कस करा है अभी जस्ट नाउ, कि मैक्सिमम लेंथ उल्टा बैक ट्रैक करो, जो लार्जेस्ट डिजिट पॉसिबल है उस पोजीशन पे उसको यूज कर लो।
मतलब 15 मिनट मुझे ये बस ये उल्टा वाले में लग गया, ये वाला तो हो गया था 5 मिनट में, यही ज्यादा टाइम लग गया।
हाँ, करेक्ट। ठीक है, चैट में लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं, सब मचा रहे हैं यूट्यूब पे। ओके, बेस्ट बुक फॉर मैथ्स इन सीपी। अभी मैथ्स रुको, बाद में ये सब डिस्कस करेंगे। प्रैक्टिस करो बस, बुक्स वैसे नहीं होते हैं, सही बात है। तो बताओ, आज हम लोग पूछेंगे विभोर जी से, बताइए ओए के लिए क्या आपके पास सजेशंस है, किसी के पास? यू कैन गो टू दैट, यू कैन गो टू द कमेंट्स वाला सेक्शन, जो कमेंट्स वाला है ना, द टैब इन द साइड बार स्ट्रीम दैट पे, हाँ उस पर क्लिक करो।
हाँ,
so you will be able to see the comments on this. So people are asking what is some tips for solving OA questions faster, बताओ। विवो ने सबसे पहले 3 क्वेश्चन कर दिए। आई वाज एक्सपेक्टिंग 1-2 क्वेश्चन तक ही होगा, बट नहीं, मतलब पॉसिबल था। दिस वाज इजियर कंपेयर्ड टू मेनी क्वेश्चंस।
हाँ, मतलब वही मेरे को ये थोड़ा सा इजी लगा कंपैरेटिवली, ऐसे तो क्योंकि मतलब कुछ एक बीच वाला क्वेश्चन देखा हुआ था कि कंट्रीब्यूशन टेक्निक का, तो
हाँ,
वो इसलिए एकदम से स्ट्राइक हो गया। पर वैसे तो मतलब अब मैं अगर मेरे से कोई टिप मांगेगा तो मैं तो क्या ही बोलूंगा, मैं ऐसा बोलूंगा कि मतलब बेसिकली कई लोग मतलब अपने मतलब एम मतलब क्लैरिटी रखना है कि अपने को मैक्सिमम से मैक्सिमम सॉल्व करना है। पूरा सॉल्व करने का सोचेंगे तो फिर होता नहीं है। ये एटलीस्ट मेरे साथ तो ऐसा ही है। मैं कभी भी एम करता हूँ कि मतलब 1 या 2 क्वेश्चन भी हो जाए तो काफी है, तो उसलिए एटलीस्ट प्रेशर नहीं आता मुझ पे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने
मेरे
में।
को मेरे को मेरे को लगता है, मतलब तुम जो चीज बोल रहे हो ना, मतलब दिस इज लाइक टेक्निक फॉर एवरीवन, बट व्हाट यू आर सेइंग इज कि एक्सपेक्टेशन अगर तुम स्टार्ट में ही सही से रखो, तो दैट डजंट लीड टू लाइक अ टू मच ऑफ प्रेशर, कि अचानक से मेरे एक रॉन्ग आंसर आ गया तो यू स्टार्ट जैसे ट्रेमलिंग कि यार अब हाथ से कोड ही नहीं हो रहे थे, हाथ कांपने लगते हैं टेस्ट में, अगर तुम सही से सोचो तो।
ये मतलब एटलीस्ट जैसे अभी हम लोग का 15th कोई गूगल का ओए था ना, तो मैं उसमें सोच के आया था दोनों ही बना के आना है, और उसमें फिर मैंने पूरा कबाड़ा कर दिया उसमें। इसलिए फिर तो इसलिए फिर मैंने इसलिए ये टेक्निक फिर देखा है कि भाई पूरा नहीं बनाना है,
आराम से करो,
जितना
जितना बनेगा
उतना
बनेगा।
बनाना है।
ठीक है। So somebody is asking, what is your rating in CF Vibor?
मेरा 1300 है। मैं नहीं बना हूँ, मैं मतलब स्पेशलिस्ट भी नहीं बना हूँ मैं।
ठीक है, अभी तो मतलब इधर से क्वेश्चन, मतलब इधर वाले क्वेश्चन खत्म किए थे, और फिर अभी
हाँ, मतलब मैं
इंटरव्यू
अभी तो
वगैरह।
मैंने बहुत लेट शुरू किया था ना सीपी, मतलब सीपी पर्टिकुलरली। और क्या हो रहा था कि एंड में जब मतलब जैसे जैसे ओएस पास आ रहे थे ना, तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है क्योंकि मैं लोगों का कोड देखता था तो बहुत सेम दिखता था सीएफ पे, और जो जिन लोग का मतलब 900 था वो अचानक से +500 करके स्पेशलिस्ट बन जा रहे हैं। तो मतलब मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा था कि चीटिंग बहुत ज्यादा हो रही थी उस टाइम पे। तो फिर मैं मतलब इसलिए भी बहुत कम ही बढ़ रहा था। मैं चाहे F1 तक भी बना लिया div 3 में, तो भी वो मेरा कुछ +10 है, कई बार -10 भी हुआ है उस पे। तो फिर मतलब मेरे को समझ आ गया था कि इतना कोई फायदा भी नहीं है,
रेटिंग का इतना कुछ फायदा नहीं है। मैं भी मतलब इनफैक्ट एक और चीज है कि लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आर जस्ट एड हॉक ग्रीडी, जो उतने आते भी नहीं। तुमने टेस्ट अभी बहुत सारे दे दिए राइट रिसेंटली, तो यू वुड नॉट हैव सीन, मतलब कंस्ट्रक्टिव क्वेश्चन क्या आए थे क्या बहुत ज्यादा? एक आध देखा होगा तुमने मेरे ख्याल से।
नहीं मतलब मैंने तो मेरे से बहुत ही कम देखा है,
राइट,
बहुत ही रेयर।
एग्जैक्टली। बट मतलब क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने वो ये कि सारे जो टॉपिक्स के अलग अलग टेक्निक्स पता होने चाहिए कि भाई हाँ इसमें ये टेक्निक है, इसमें ये चीज है।
मैं अभी तक देख रहा हूँ सब डीपी ग्राफ यही कर रहे हैं हर ओए में।
तो मैं तो बोला ही हूँ कि वो जो डिसाइडर क्वेश्चन होता है वो डीपी ग्राफ में ही आता है इन जनरल। मतलब मैंने भी बहुत टेस्ट दिए। मतलब देखो, इसका रीजन एक और भी है कि मेनी पीपल, मतलब एडहॉक या वो सब चीजें सेट करना भी मुश्किल होता है। मतलब तुम नया क्वेश्चन कहाँ से ढूंढ के लाओगे, है ना? तुम्हें भी अगर मैं क्वेश्चन बनाने बोलूं, तुम भी शायद डीपी ग्राफ में से कुछ बनाओगे।
हाँ, क्योंकि उसी के ज्यादा वैरायटी पॉसिबल भी है। हाँ
हाँ वही, तो दैट्स देयर। ठीक है, ठीक है, आई थिंक बाकी लोगों का भी खत्म होने वाला है, और किसी का खत्म हो गया तो आई डोंट नो, लेट मी चेक. नमन इज स्टिल ट्राइंग. शुभम इज बैक ऑन स्ट्रीम. चलो शुभम, लेट्स टॉक टू यू. चलो शुभम से मैं मतलब बहुत दिन हो गए बात किए हुए, आई सपोज. सो हाउ इज एवरीथिंग गोइंग, पहले वो बताओ, सही चल रहा है सब?
हाँ, सब ठीक सही चल रहा है। अभी तो मेरा जस्ट इंटर्नशिप खत्म हुआ और पीपीओ भी आ गया।
ओके, तब तो सही है. तो अभी क्या ऑफ कैंपस वगैरह थोड़ा अप्लाई करोगे या अभी चिल थोड़ा?
ट्राई करूंगा, वैसे उतना लोड तो नहीं लेना है।
हम्म, ठीक है. ठीक है, तो बताओ टेस्ट कैसा था? लास्ट वाले क्वेश्चन में क्या लगा?
लास्ट वाला क्वेश्चन एक्चुअली मैं ध्यान नहीं दिया था कि के का वैल्यू 2000, मतलब ध्यान दिया था, पर वो मैं जब आंसर प्रिंट कर रहा था तो लॉन्ग लॉन्ग में वो स्टोर करते जा रहा था, आंसर इंटू 10, फिर आंसर
ओके,
प्लस 1,
अच्छा वही गलती
उसके
था
कारण
कोड में
रॉन्ग आ
क्या?
रहा था। हाँ, बस
ओके
वही
ओके.
गलत था।
हाँ,
फिर उसको
वही सोच
लास्ट
रहा
में
हूँ
देखा
कि
कि अच्छा ये।
हाँ, वही मैंने देखा
हाँ
कि ये तो मतलब लॉजिक मुझे भी सही लग रहा था कि मतलब जनरेट ही करना है लॉन्गेस्ट लेंथ का, और तुमने वो कोड तो कर ही दिया था, तो मैं सोचा ये क्या हो रहा है, ये
हाँ,
क्यों नहीं प्रिंट हो रहा है? फिर मैंने नहीं देखा था कि लॉन्ग लॉन्ग लिखा है तुमने.
हमको भी
तो
कुछ नहीं समझ में आ रहा था।
ठीक है, तो सबको इससे पूछ रहे हैं. लाइक आल्सो नमन इज आल्सो बैक ऑन स्ट्रीम, आई सपोज. नमन, कितने क्वेश्चन बने?
एक बना, सेकंड
कौन सा
वाला।
वाला? ओके, सेकंड वाला ऑब्जर्वेशन.
हाँ हाँ हाँ
ठीक है.
हाँ.
ठीक है, चलो. आई थिंक मेनी पीपल आस्किंग कि कैसे कोडिंग टेस्ट में क्या बेटर कर सकते हैं. सो शुभम, व्हाट डू यू थिंक, कोडिंग टेस्ट में लोग कैसे बेटर कर सकते हैं थोड़ा?
कोडिंग टेस्ट में मतलब मैं मोस्टली तो वैसा ही है कि पहले से कुछ सोच के नहीं जाना, एक्सपेक्टेशन कुछ रखना नहीं है, जैसा क्वेश्चन आ रहा है उसके हिसाब से सोचने के लिए। और बाकी तो सारे क्वेश्चंस पहले एक बार पढ़ लेना चाहिए। अगर मतलब एक क्वेश्चन पे ज़्यादा समय नहीं देना चाहिए। हो सकता है कि जो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है वही सबसे ज़्यादा टफ हो।
आई थिंक इस बार डी शॉ ने फर्स्ट टाइम ये करा है, व्हिच आई एम एक्चुअली हैप्पी ऑफ, कि उन्होंने हर क्वेश्चन के लिए एक टाइमर दिया था बेसिकली कि 3 क्वेश्चंस, हर क्वेश्चन का 25 मिनट, 30 मिनट, 35 मिनट्स, व्हिच इज आई थिंक गुड फॉर लाइक ऐसे रिमूविंग चीटिंग एंड ऑल, कि आप इसको करो, कंप्लीट करो, एंड देन आगे क्वेश्चन पे जाओ. अभी क्या होता है कि थोड़ा चीटिंग वेटिंग होता है ना, क्योंकि लोग पहले से सब क्वेश्चन भेज देते हैं.
लेकिन
तो
उसमें ये दिक्कत हुई कि मतलब बीच वाला
शॉर्ट,
क्वेश्चन ऐसे मतलब बस 2 मिनट का और डिबगिंग बजा था, लेकिन वो बंद हो गया.
ठीक है, मतलब आई एम सेइंग कि एटलीस्ट मतलब आई अंडरस्टैंड कि थोड़ा बहुत अनफेयरनेस है टू द स्टूडेंट्स हु आर लाइक डूइंग इट प्रॉपर्ली, बट अ लॉट ऑफ अ बिग पूल ऑफ लाइक ऐसे चीटिंग उससे हट सकता है, मुझे ऐसा लगता है, मतलब
हाँ,
इन द
वो
सेंस
तो
कि
हुआ ही, क्योंकि कोई मतलब कोई बात भी नहीं कर पा रहा था उतनी देर में. कि कोड करेंगे उससे पहले लोग बात
करेक्ट
करने जाएंगे तो मुश्किल हो जाएगा.
करेक्ट करेक्ट, मुझे लगता है ये दिस इज लाइक वन ऑफ द बेस्ट वे टू मिटिगेट मतलब चीटिंग का इशू इधर उधर ओएस में जो होता है. आई थिंक कंपनी भी समझ गई है, कुछ दिन में सब हट जाएगा, ये सब कोई डाल ही देंगे ये टिक चीज, तो कि आप क्वेश्चन स्किप नहीं कर सकते, करके जाओ आगे. हमारे कॉलेज, आई थिंक तुम दोनों को आईटी के एचपी से, तो हमारे कॉलेज में तो वो मूडल पे भी होता था ना कि पीछे नहीं जा सकते,
हाँ,
तुम लोगों ने
हाँ,
किसी ने टेस्ट दिया?
बैकवर्ड नेविगेशन अलाउड नहीं होता
बैकवर्ड
था.
नेविगेशन नहीं दिया जा सकते, तो उससे चीटिंग काफी कम जाती है वैसे. तो उसमें भी करते थे वैसे लोग चीटिंग, कि पूरा एक जन का वेट करो, पूरा वो करेगा उसके बाद मैं.
हाँ.
बट कुछ कुछ करते हैं लोग फिर भी. ठीक है, सबकी क्या रेटिंग है? नमन, व्हाट इज योर रेटिंग अभी?
मेरी 1720 है अभी.
ठीक है. शुभम?
मेरी करंट 1970 है।
शुभम इज आई थिंक हाईएस्ट अमंग ऑल अभी के लिए. शुभम तो बहुत दिन से कर रहा है, शुभम को तो लाइक आई हैव सीन स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम फर्स्ट ईयर, बट अभी तो शुभम अच्छा हो गया है, सब टेस्ट वेस्ट देता है अच्छे से, कॉन्टेस्ट वगैरह कर ही देता है. आज थोड़ा टाइम लग गया, बट इन जनरल आई एक्सपेक्टेड कि शुभम तो फट से खत्म कर देगा ये क्वेश्चंस, क्योंकि दीज आर ऑल लाइक क्लासिकल डीपी प्रॉब्लम्स टू सम डिग्री, राइट?
हाँ
मतलब
हाँ
विवो का तो हमने डिस्कस कर लिया, विवो इतना अभी सीपी नहीं स्टार्ट किया है सीएफ पे, अभी करेगा, टेस्ट खत्म होगा उसके बाद. अभी तो स्किल्स आ गया है, अभी तो स्किल्स एक्वायर हो गया है थोड़ा थोड़ा, अभी
हाँ, मतलब
रेटिंग
हाँ,
पुश करना पड़ेगा.
अभी भी थोड़ा सा फाइन ट्यूनिंग अभी भी चाहिए.
हाँ.
ऐसी गलतियां नहीं होनी चाहिए जो हुई थी.
गलती तो मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि मैं एक बार, मेरे को ऐसा लगता है एक कॉन्टेस्ट था जब मैं एक टाइम पे लाइक 1900 या 2000 हो गया था, उस कॉन्टेस्ट में तो मैंने पता नहीं इतनी गलती कर दी कि मतलब हद ही हो गया, मतलब एक क्वेश्चन सॉल्व नहीं हुआ, 2 क्वेश्चन हैक हो गए, एक क्वेश्चन गलत कर दिया, मतलब एबीसी में ही खत्म हो गया कॉन्टेस्ट. -200 या कितना रेटिंग हो गया था उस कॉन्टेस्ट में. तो दीज ऑल थिंग्स आर देयर. शुभम, आपकी ब्रांच? शुभम इज फ्रॉम मैकेनिकल.
मेरी मैकेनिकल।
थिंक ऑफ सॉल्विंग मोस्ट, यस करेक्ट, नॉट ऑल प्रॉब्लम्स. सबकी रेटिंग अच्छी है वैसे, जो लोग चैट पे देख रहे हैं. हाँ. ठीक है. सामग्री स्टिल ट्राइंग, आई सपोज सामग्री अब टाइम खत्म हो जाएगा, सामग्री थोड़ा सा लेट स्टार्ट करा था. स्टिल ऑन फर्स्ट प्रॉब्लम लोग वही गलती, पता नहीं इसने भी क्या गलती करा है. आई थिंक स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड डीपी है, 10 रखा है. कितना कमेंट क्यों लिख दिया इसने? mod 7 सही है। -1
मेरे हिसाब से ये जो जे का पार्ट है वो स्विच हो जाना चाहिए, मुझे बस वही गलती लग रहा है।
J का
डीपी
part
ऑफ
है कुछ।
आई डीपी ऑफ आई जे इक्वल टू प्लस
हाँ
इक्वल टू वो
हाँ
वाला पार्ट दे होना चाहिए, बस वही गलती
हाँ
है।
हाँ, प्लस दिस मॉड, करेक्ट। कुछ तो इस टाइप का बेस केस पे डिपेंड करता है। नहीं, इसने बेस केस उल्टा रखा है, तो इट्स लाइक कि वो अगर यूज करा तो माइनस, बट ठीक है। भाई इधर तो लोग सब केजीपी वाला के पूछ रहे हैं, हॉल वॉल पूछ रहे हैं। शुभम जी अपना बायोडाटा दे दो, लोग आपसे रीच आउट करने वाले हैं। आई थिंक कंपैरेटिवली यू आर लाइक सीनियर इन द सेंस दैट 5th ईयर में हो, तो लाइक कौन सा हॉल में हो शुभम?
आई एम फ्रॉम आजाद हॉल।
सही, ठीक है। नमन जी क्या लगा आज के टेस्ट में, क्या इंप्रूव कर सकते थे? फर्स्ट प्रॉब्लम में ये प्रॉब्लम तो
फर्स्ट
डुएबल
प्रॉब्लम
था।
मेरे को समझ ही नहीं आया कहाँ गलती हो रहा है, लाइक डीबग करे जा रहा हूँ, मेरे को समझ ही नहीं आया।
दिखाओ जरा लास्ट सबमिशन अपना।
मेरा लास्ट सबमिशन यही है।
लॉजिक तो सही यूज कियो, आई कैन सी दैट, बट फिर तुम भी प्लस वी लिखे हो बेसिकली, प्लस वी मॉड 7 उस पे जा रहे हैं, और v0 मॉड 7 इक्वल टू 1। ये टेक्निक कहाँ देखा तुमने?
ये वाला मतलब जो एलिमेंट है उसका सिंगल एलिमेंट को पहले डाल दिया, लाइक 7 आया तो 7 को पहले ऐड कर दिया 7th रो में।
ओके, जरूरत नहीं है इतना ये करने का मेरे ख्याल से। कुछ तो भी स्पेसिफिक करा है तुमने। ट्रांजिशन नहीं, मेरे को लग रहा है गलत है कुछ तो भी, कि अगर तुमने आई एलिमेंट लिया है, i-1 पे ट्रांजिशन कर रहे हो, तो प्लस वी कर रहे हो, तो मतलब सेंस नहीं, बेस केस गलत है फिर। इन द सेंस अगर तुम
ये वाला
ith पोजीशन पे अगर वी आई बैठा रहे हो, तो यू विल गो टू अ स्टेट ऑफ j माइनस वी आई, राइट?
मैं j प्लस वी आई पे बैठा रहा हूँ, तो j से लाइक ट्रांजिशन कर रहा हूँ, i-1 j स्टेट से i
ओके ओके, गॉट
j
इट
प्लस वी आई।
गॉट इट गॉट इट, समझ गया। मैं पता नहीं कुछ मिस्टेक किया फिर तुमने। इफ टीपी ऑफ दिस इज 0 के पे कंटिन्यू क्यों करा? 0 पे कंटिन्यू
पे?
क्यों करा?
क्योंकि अगर वो स्टेट है ही नहीं तो उसके आगे और तो ऐड नहीं होगा ना।
मतलब
अगर ये स्टेट
मॉड्यूलो,
रीचेबल ही नहीं है।
अगर वो मॉड्यूलो होकर के 0 हो गया होगा तो मतलब
हाँ, अरे ये वाला मिस हो गया फिर।
वैसे उसको वैसे 0 ही ऐड होगा वैसे, बट फिर भी मतलब समझ रहे हो मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? कुछ मतलब
हाँ।
लॉजिकली वो गलत है।
हाँ समझा, मॉड्यूलो वाला ध्यान नहीं रहा कि मॉड्यूलो के भी 0 हो सकता है।
करेक्ट, राइट। अब थर्ड वाला प्रॉब्लम में क्या सोचे? थर्ड वाला प्रॉब्लम
थर्ड
तो
वाला
डुएबल था।
सोचा ही नहीं, थर्ड वाला
अरे
सोचा ही नहीं, देखकर ही
फर्स्ट
ऐसा
वाला
लगा
में
कि
टाइम,
नहीं होने वाला। हाँ,
फर्स्ट वाला पे टाइम चला
मैं
गया
सोचा
पूरा।
कि 1 घंटा हो गया था जब सेकंड वाला सबमिट हो गया, फर्स्ट वाला एरर दे रहा था, तो सोचा फर्स्ट वाला ही ठीक कर लेता हूँ, वो ऑलमोस्ट हुआ लग रहा है।
ठीक है। अब वी आर वेटिंग फॉर आई थिंक सामग्र का ये कोड अब नहीं हो रहा है, हमें सामग्र को बुला लेना पड़ेगा लगता है। खत्म कर लेते हैं, थोड़ा देर टाइम दे देते हैं। ठीक है। वैसे अभी रिसेंटली आई थिंक नमन तुम्हारा भी टेस्ट स्टार्ट हो गया है, राइट?
कल मेरा गूगल का ओए था।
कैसा गया?
मेरा एकदम मस्त गया गूगल का ओए।
नाइस। चलो लोग
दोनों
बना
हो
के
गए।
तो आ रहे सही है, कैसे बना के आना है बस। वही है,
हाँ।
मतलब मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक और चीज लोग बहुत ऐसे मतलब अंडर एस्टिमेट करते हैं, कि हम लोग को लगता है कि सारे कंपनी का सब अच्छा हो जाए, मतलब दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉट अ रियलिस्टिक एक्सपेक्टेशन टू हैव, कि नहीं होता है सारे कंपनी का अच्छा, तो नहीं हो सकता एकदम ही। कभी कभी जितना भी अच्छा तुम पहले से प्रैक्टिस करके जाओ नहीं होता है, बट जिस तुम्हें 2-3 कंपनी का अच्छा करके इंटरव्यू में लाना है, इंटरव्यू इज कंपैरेटिवली इजियर, तो उसमें मतलब कंफर्म ऐसे क्रैक हो पाए थोड़ा इस टाइप का रखना है। अगेन उसमें भी रैंडमनेस है, जितना ज्यादा क्रैक हो उतना बेटर ही है, बट स्टिल मतलब वी ओनली नीड वन कंपनी, मतलब एक अच्छा कंपनी में बस जल्दी से लाइक क्रैक कर लेना, राइट? द ऑब्वियसली वी हैव अ प्रायोरिटी ऑर्डर इन माइंड, और वो हो गया तो अच्छी बात है, बट देन स्टिल हमें एक ही जगह पे जाके वैसे भी कैंपस में रोक ही देते हैं। तुम्हारे में भी वही है ना, कि
हाँ
अगर जो
हाँ
बेस्ट लग गया उसके बाद तो नेक्स्ट दिन थोड़ी बैठने
हाँ,
देंगे।
उसका बताते भी नहीं कि इसमें हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ है।
हाँ, अच्छा छुपा के रख देते क्या पूरा पूरा?
हाँ, एक प्रायोरिटी लिस्ट भरवाते हैं, मान लो आपको सेकंड कंपनी हो गया एंड थर्ड कंपनी भी हो गया, तो आपको बोलेंगे सेकंड कंपनी में आपको, थर्ड कंपनी का आपको बताएंगे ही नहीं।
ओके,
हुआ है नहीं हुआ, रिजेक्ट हुआ, क्या हुआ है।
केजीपी में थोड़ा सा बेटर है, बता देते हैं इसकी कोडिंग टेस्ट का बता देते हैं एटलीस्ट, और
नहीं,
फिर उसके
कोडिंग टेस्ट
बाद
का बता देते हैं, फाइनल इंटरव्यू तक वाला नहीं बताते।
अच्छा रिजल्ट ही नहीं बताते। ओके
हाँ हाँ हाँ।
हाँ, हम लोग को तो केजीपी में तो बैठ ही नहीं देते आजकल, है ना? विवोर क्या स्टेटस है?
मना
बोल
करते थे।
मना कर दे, जाओ जाओ ही मत इंटरव्यू देने, ऐसा कुछ। ठीक है, तो ठीक है। ओके, इसके टाइमर में कुछ गड़बड़ है। देयर इज दिस न्यू थिंग दैट वी फिगर्ड आउट, जो हमें रिसेंटली पता चला कि क्रोम क्या होता है, कि क्रोम और मोस्ट ब्राउजर्स व्हाट दे डू इज इफ यू कीप व्हेन यू आर डूइंग अ वीएस कोड वाला कोडिंग, राइट, सो दे किल पावर टू द विंडो। तो अगर इफ योर टाइमर इज इन फ्रंट एंड इट्स नॉट गेटिंग सिंक्ड एवरी वंस इन अ व्हाइल, तो क्या होता है कि इट डिलेज, मतलब वो 5 मिनट तो रुका रहता है जब तक आप इस पे हो। तो सामग्री जी को लग रहा हो कि हमारे पास अभी बहुत टाइम है, बट एक्चुअली है नहीं। व्हेन ही विल रिफ्रेश, ही विल गेट टू नो कि हमारा टेस्ट खत्म हो चुका है। चलो ठीक है, I'll call him up real quickly. In GU, you won't get to sit for next company unless the CTC is 2x of your current offer, which is actually good. मेरे को लगता है this is a better pattern to have, because कभी कभी क्या होता है कि randomly कोई अच्छी कंपनी बाद में आ जाती है, which might be like a better offer for many students. जितना पहले हम स्टार्ट के डेज में लोग बैठ के ले लेते हैं, इवन स्टार्ट में भी ऐसे कंपनी आती है, राइट, जो इतना बहुत हाई नहीं पे कर रही होती है, एंड देन बाद में कोई आती है जो बहुत ज्यादा पे कर देती है, कुछ रैंडमली पे कर देती है बहुत ज्यादा। वो एक दो कंपनी ट्रेक्सकॉन जैसे लास्ट टाइम आ गई थी, which was paying, which came later, बट बहुत ज्यादा पे कर रही थी इस टाइप का। हो गया टाइम खत्म। अभी सामने को रियलाइज हुआ कि ओ शिट, टाइम लेफ्ट 0। मुझे रिएक्शन देख रहा है कि ऊपर टाइम लेफ्ट 0 नहीं दिख रहा है। विभोर, आप कौन से ईयर्स?
मैं थर्ड ईयर में गया जस्ट।
ओके, आ जाओ सामग्री, कम बैक। अरे सामग्री अभी भी सोच रहे हैं कि ये क्यों नहीं चल रहा है। ठीक है, I'll ask quickly Umang to contact him once. अच्छा, हम लोगों ने वो भी करा है ना कि वी हैव म्यूटेड द टैब, तो ही माइट नॉट बी एबल टू हियर अस आल्सो अभी भी। ठीक है, किसी को और कोई क्वेश्चन पूछना है तो पूछ लो। कोड से पर भी यही होता है, इतना बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म होकर भी ये फिक्स नहीं किया, दैट लेट टाइमर थिंग। इट्स डिफिकल्ट, मतलब वो एक्चुअली मुझे भी फर्स्ट टाइम पता चला। हम लोग भी अभी शायद इधर पे इसको फिक्स कर देंगे। बेसिकली वही है कि जब लाइक आफ्टर सम टाइम एक बार रीचेक करके रीफेच करो बेसिकली, और करंट टाइमर क्या है, सेपरेट एपीआई लगाना होगा, दैट्स इट। बट पता नहीं होता ये चीज लोगों को कि ओ शिट, ये भी होता है कि बंद हो जाता है, एंड वो समझ में नहीं आता कि रीजन क्या है उसका एक्चुअली। ठीक है, ओके, अभी सामने के पास कॉल आया है मुझे लगता है। कम बैक सामग्री जी। सामग्री सरप्राइज्ड। यस, नाउ यू कैन हियर अस, राइट?
या
ठीक है, टेस्ट का टाइमर गलत दिखा रहा था टाइम। बेसिकली उसमें क्या होता है, लाइक इफ इट गोज इन द बैकग्राउंड इट स्टॉप्स, दैट्स अ प्रॉब्लम ऑफ क्रोम।
ओके।
बट ठीक है, कैसा गया?
So I was able to do the second question, and first question I was about to submit, and I think that timeout happened. So in this I wrote this DP, in which I considered two cases of taking and not taking, and taking with taking this value with some particular modulos, like all the possible modulos that were possible before this 0 to 6.
So then why are you adding the first one, not taking में सबके साथ? अच्छा, you are carry forwarding that forward and then
Yeah.
सबके साथ आगे
So answer.
forward. इसमें क्या मिस्टेक है? 10n+2, this modulo is correct. बताओ, let's quickly hint, like find out क्या मिस्टेक है इसमें। 0 1 सारे मॉड्यूलों को फॉरवर्ड पास करा रहे, so 0 0 पे मतलब with 0 numbers you have 0 modulo.
So
And what you're
I
printing
have
at the end?
I have not made a summation.
अच्छा with this code क्या?
Yeah.
Oh okay okay, तब ठीक है. आंसर दिखाओ एक बार, नीचे प्रिंट क्या किया? dp of n, 0.
Yeah. So I think there should be a -1 here.
Okay. ठीक है. So how did the
As
test go, सामग्र क्या लगता है?
so the test was good, not easy. This question was like approachable, as it was like obvious there will be some kind of DP. The third question I think is also some kind of DP, but I just used all of my time in doing this only.
चलो ठीक है, no problem.
So
ठीक है.
how many
Samagra, like
questions are?
what would be your tip on getting for these OAs in campus? बताओ. सबसे हम लोग ये क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं कि because chat पे लोग पूछ रहे हैं. So what is the best way to approach? What have you realized कि something that has worked for you?
Something that has worked for me is firstly being relaxed. Like if we panic, we made very severe mistakes. So that happens a lot of time. We need to be relaxed, and we also need some kind of confidence. Like if we have already performed good in 2 3 OAs, then I think we'll be confident in our next OA. And we need to definitely practice some questions that has already been appeared in the coding test of that particular company, so that we can get a idea of what kind of level they ask. And if we are able to solve those, then we will be confident as well.
Got it. Makes sense. हाँ, मतलब कैंपस में इधर उधर रिपीट तो होता है. आई थिंक एवरीबॉडी विल अपीयर, एवरीबॉडी वुड एग्री ऑन दिस कि इधर उधर से कुछ ना कुछ तो
Yeah.
क्वेश्चन होता ही है.
And obviously there is one more factor of like some people search the questions and they easily get, and if you are trying by your own, you will take obviously more time.
So I have seen that some questions that are on hacker rank sometimes being asked again in questions. ऐसे hacker rank या hacker earth पे sometimes it is available in some other part जहाँ पर ऐसे इतना easy नहीं है ढूंढना, but you can Google and search it sometimes, and then like if somebody is coding, then they will take much more time.
So that happens in on campus as well as off campus. So that is also a skill some people utilize.
Right, that is also there. Seeing your calmness, I don't think being relaxed is a problem for you. लोग इधर ट्रोल कर रहे हैं.
No, who is saying this?
शुभम प्रकाश, आई थिंक विवोर का फ्रेंड है क्या?
हाँ.
मुझे लग ही रहा था.
How many questions all other?
So I think Shubham and Vivor solved 3. Naman also solved I think 1, right? So same. Second problem was observation. So I think you guys figured out that pretty well. First problem है implementation bug for both of you, and then third पे time नहीं बचा. Obviously that is the thing. But ठीक है. लीड कोड डिस्कस OA के पहले दिन खूब काम आता है. लीड कोड डिस्कस जो हम लोगों ने लेकर रखा था. आई डोंट नो. अच्छा यश, आई डोंट नो, बट थोड़ा थोड़ा क्वेश्चन तो डिस्कस करना काम तो आता है मेरे को. ऐसा लगता है कि भाई इधर उधर क्या आ रहा है, राइट?
लेकिन IIT KGP में अभी तक एक भी ऐसा टेस्ट नहीं था जिसका पिछला वाला रिपीट हुआ, चाहे एक
हाँ,
दिन पहले ही हुआ.
मैंने भी नोटिस करा ये चीज. दिस वाज द फर्स्ट टाइम दिस हैपेंड दिस ईयर. लास्ट ईयर तक क्या होता था कि धनबाद में आ गया, इधर आ गया, उधर आ गया, तो सेम क्वेश्चन रिपीट हो गया. This year I have not seen question repeating across campus, which was new, but it has appeared before. कभी ना कभी तो आया हुआ क्वेश्चन है. I have seen that in the like ऐसे question bank of let's suppose hacker rank before.
One day ago, I have given the OA of Deutsche Bank. So, what do you think about that company? Like, how good is its role, or anything you know about it?
Deutsche Bank is good. I think for now coding test के लिए सब company दो, then prioritize जिसमें से shortlist आया, that which is the company that I want to get into. You don't be picky while giving coding test. You can be picky while giving for interviews for them. कि अच्छा मेरे को चूज करना नहीं करना, पहले सिलेक्ट हो जाओ, है ना, उसके बाद.
पर वैसे भी क्या फायदा होता है, जो पहले कंपनी आती है अगर वो प्रेफरेंस ऑर्डर में तो बिठा देते हैं, हो गया तो फिर दूसरे में बैठने नहीं देंगे.
राइट, नहीं तो छोड़ दो. Right, that is also there. Do you have similar setup, Samagra? What is your setup in college? Ki, do they allow you to sit in all tests, or like even if you get selected, or like
So
first selection only?
so I am from electronics and instrumentation department. So some companies don't allow,
ठीक है?
but there are companies that allow. Like I have appeared for Zscaler nuclei, and this is the third company I am appearing.
Okay, got it. So one thing is like if you like let's suppose get selected in a company, will you be able to sit in the next company also?
No, if it like if you are selected in a like 6 to 8 lakh company, then I think you can sit. But if you are selected in Zscaler, Nuclei, or Deutsche Bank, then you won't be able to sit.
Somewhere around 12 chala jata, then like 10 to 12, 12 plus, then you
Yeah.
can sit again. Basically, I think some college has this 2x number, which is pretty good. मतलब double, if you can double your payment, then you can sit for the company. नहीं तो नहीं. ठीक है.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine, then I think it's almost 2 hours now. It was a 1.5 hour test. I think all of you performed pretty well in the sense that like the DP was, there was 2 questions of DP. I think Vibhor and Shubham to solved all of them. And for them, I kind of like expected कि ठीक है कर लोगे. मुझे लगा था. But Naman and Samagra, I think तुम लोग के लिए मुझे लगा था ये थोड़ा टफ होगा क्योंकि मतलब इतना भी टफ नहीं था, but then उसमें mistakes chances बहुत high थे. So, and then second problem, I think I also expected second problem to be a little hard. I think later on I realized कि sample case पे 0 दिया हुआ है, तो it will make sense. नहीं तो वो मुझे लगता है 0 वाला केस मिस होकर के दिमाग खराब होना एक टेस्ट में obvious है थोड़ा सा एक बार तो.
Yeah, 0 initially gave the observation like maybe it is only possible for zeros. Later, the another observation came like similar kind of values can give the contribute to the answer.
Correct.
But actually
Okay.
test case बहुत सारे थे ना, तो
हाँ.
they had all the information in it.
एक टेस्ट देने से था either all 0 या all non-zero numbers.
So in the third problem, what kind of approach is there?
DP.
Like n square DP?
It's a k-square DP, yeah. Case, not also k-square DP. I mean O of k DP. You can do it in O of k DP only. Like how much cost is left. I think Shubham wrote k-square DP, right? Like he also decided the number of positions, like number of digits. But you can just maximize the number of digits O of k DP. Like this much cost is left. Try 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. Like just find the maximum number of digits.
Can be done.
And then just place it in the order key. Get the highest digit possible in the starting digits backtrace.
In that we only need to maximize the number of digits.
And then after doing
what
that,
if
After
so we
doing that,
can
we need to
also
find
do
the
that
maximum.
one thing, like if the cost of 2 digits is same, we can map the digit which is higher to that cost.
Not necessarily that. In fact, you don't need to do that. In fact, it's better to think about it this way: ki if there are 2 options in the first digit, which leads to same length after that, then take the higher one. That's the better way to think about it. Because you might have like 9 followed by bunch of ones and then 8 followed by bunch of twos. Let's suppose like somehow knapsack figures out the sum of k.
And
that way.
answer can be very large also. So how do we maintain the answer?
String.
So you save it in string. Shubham knows the pain of that.
Okay. So was that like, okay, we are going optimal only. Like what is the best? So we are creating the answer.
Yes. So it's the generate step, basically reverse tracking the transitions. Keep 9. Can I do it with 9? Yes, no. If yes, then go 9 or else go to 8. Try something like that. The create step basically.
That is no other transitions which are not optimal, directly creating the answer.
Correct. I've like discussed all of it, so you can always watch this stream later on too. Okay. चलो, I think like a lot of audience might get tired. उन्होंने 2 घंटे से बैठ के आप लोगों को solve करते हुए देखा है, right? So we'll take it till this point for now for all of you. Thanks for joining in for everyone who joined in. I hope you all learned something new from this particular test as well, and in general about what you can kind of plan for OA. I think this is the place where we'll stop it for some time at least, because 5 tests we have already seen. Maybe we'll take some mock OAs next on mock interviews next on channel, not just on standard technical interviews, but some more rounds, like let's suppose
system
how does
design.
system, not fully system design, like
Low
how
level.
does low level rounds, LLD round goes, because I think not a lot of people understand how to prepare for them or how to even structure their thoughts in that, right? So that is something we'll have. Also, some other kind of round, like just like maybe a mock HR round कि how do you prepare for that also क्योंकि मुझे लगता है वो भी नहीं होता है लोगों से, right? So I have to find someone जो prepare करके बैठा है, because like when I say to ask, when I ask somebody I will get you on stream to ask questions like what is your strength and weakness, बोलते कि नहीं विवेक अभी prepared नहीं हूँ मैं. So that's the usual answer. But yeah, this is something we'll like kind of do very soon. So thanks for joining in, everyone. I think that this is the place where we'll stop, and like the stream if you haven't done it as of now. But I like absolutely want to see you in the next streams where we'll learning new things as well. So KGP destroying और भाई साहब ये सब अलग ही चीज लिख रहे हैं लोग. नहीं, the rating also matters. There is already pre-built rating. The bias is also there of rating that they like. Shubham has been doing it for quite a while. Vibor also. Vibor hasn't done CP, but he has been practicing quite significantly for the last 3 months. I know that. So 3-4 months. So that's there. So that we'll take a leave for today. Thanks for joining in, everyone. See you all on YouTube. Bye.
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 So that's